Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Back in September, I made a video chronicling all of the unused content from all 11 Five Nights at Freddy's games. However, I should actually say most of the unused content. Unfortunately, I did miss a few pieces of unused content, which I would like to cover in this video. Originally, I was going to include this at the beginning of a video where I cover all of the Easter eggs. However, that video will likely be very long, so I just decided to dedicate a separate video to the remaining unused content. With the introduction out of the way, let's quickly go over everything that I missed. Beginning with the second anniversary images that showed behind the scenes images from the development of the first game, there are two details that were changed when the game was released. First of all, the image of Bonnie reveals that he originally had a black bow tie, which was changed to red when the game was released. Secondly, the image of Foxy shows him with a right hand rather than a hook. I am unsure if this render was created specifically for the second anniversary or if it was actually created during the first game's development, but this may indicate that Foxy was originally going to have two hands before he was given a hook for his right hand. In some beta stages of the game, when the power ran out, the doors would switch states. That is, if the door was open, then it would close, and vice versa. Obviously, this was changed before the game was released, likely because it would make the game far easier than it already was, and now the doors always open whenever the power runs out, regardless of their previous state. Finally, we have Golden Freddy's original name. In the first game, Golden Freddy was actually named Yellow Bear. However, since a lot of fans began referring to him as Golden Freddy, that became his official name, beginning with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The only piece of unused content that I missed for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was a variation of the infamous "It's me" statement. This version reads "It's him," possibly referring to William Afton being the murderer of the 5 children. There were only two pieces of unused content that I missed for Five Nights at Freddy's 4. First of all, Nightmare Freddy's Freddles were originally named the Mini Freddys, as proven by the third anniversary image of them. However, similarly to Golden Freddy, a lot of fans began referring to them as the Freddles, and that quickly became their official name, beginning with Five Nights at Freddy's World. The only other change that I missed was the original attack scream. At the end of the game's trailer, you may notice that the attack scream is slightly different to the scream used in the actual game, sounding more ferocious. The only piece of unused content that I missed for Five Nights at Freddy's World is that, when Update 2 was first released, Chipper and Unused were originally rewards for beating the boss versions of them. However, this unintended feature was later taken out, and the only way to unlock these characters is to beat the extremely frustrating Chica's Magic Rainbow minigame. The first two pieces of unused content that I missed for Sister Location come from the trailer. First of all, Funtime Foxy was originally going to have heterochromia, which is a condition when a person has two differently colored irises. If you pay attention to the panning shot of Funtime Foxy in the trailer, you may notice that his right eye is yellow, while his left eye is orange. Of course, this was changed before the game was released, and both of Funtime Foxy's eyes are yellow in all of his appearances. However, this original design aspect may have been the inspiration for Pickpatch's design, since Pickpatch also has heterochromia. The other unused features from the trailer are lines spoken by Bidybab that are not heard anywhere in the game. Just like with Phone Guy's extra line in the Five Nights 2 trailer, it is unclear if these lines were recorded specifically for the trailer or if they planned to appear in the actual game. Returning to the 3rd anniversary images, the image for the exotic butters reveals that the item was originally referred to as the exotic margarine. It is unclear why the name was changed, since butter and margarine are very similar to each other. The last pre-release change for Sister Location that I missed is an extra voice line from Ballora. Before the game was released, Ballora's voice lines were leaked on voices.com. leading to the teaser that claimed that the leak had resulted in the game's cancellation, only to instead be referring to an event that took place prior to the game's events. There are two noticeable aspects about Ballora's leaked lines. Firstly, they lack the echo effect that was added during her segments of Night 2.
Is someone there? Is someone there?
And secondly, there is one extra line that is never spoken in the actual game.
Is it time for the show?
The only cut feature that I missed from the files was Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy's original designs. In the extras menu for the game, the A-making of section reveals that these two animatronics originally had slightly different designs. Originally, Funtime Freddy was pink and lacked bonbon, before he was recolored purple and given his hand puppet's sidekick. Conversely, Funtime Foxy was originally purple before he was recolored pink. There are only 3 unused features from Pizzeria Simulator that I missed. First of all, according to the MFA files, Helpy was originally going to be named Little Freddy. This was of course changed, likely because it was too generic. However, Helpy is never actually named at any point in the game, and his official name needed to be confirmed through a Steam post. Secondly, there were the game's original attack animations. When Pizzeria Simulator was first released, the office attack animations were criticized for their low quality, so Cawthon later updated them. The final unused feature that I missed was Endless Tycoon mode. Shortly after Pizzeria Simulator was released, Scott Cawthon asked the fans if they would prefer a custom night or Endless Tycoon expansion to Pizzeria Simulator. Of course, an overwhelming majority of fans voted for the custom night, which led to the development and release of Ultimate Custom Night. Despite Cawthon reassuring everybody that Endless Tycoon mode would still be coming to Pizzeria Simulator, it was never actually released, which is honestly a massive shame, because there are so many ways in which the game could have been expanded, had the mode been implemented. Just like Five Nights at Freddy's 4, there are only 2 unused features that I missed from Ultimate Custom Night, with them both being pre-release changes. The first change comes from the teaser at the end of the Troll game. If you did not know, prior to the game's release, Scott Cawthon uploaded a quote-unquote demo of Ultimate Custom Night to Game Jolt, which actually turned out to be a reskin of his very first game, 1989's Doofus the Dinosaur. However, completing the game would reward you with a teaser for the real game, with an image capturing total chaos within the office. Amidst all of the animatronics present, one interesting detail is the positions of Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica. In the actual game, these 2 animatronics just shuffle towards you from their respective sides of the office. However, this teaser displays them peering their heads towards you from both beside and below you. This may indicate that Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica were originally going to be seen crawling out of the trapdoors described in their Steam descriptions, which would have honestly been quite terrifying to witness, judging by their positions in this teaser. The only other pre-release change is that, despite not having mugshots in the game files, DD, RXQ, Plushtrap, Nightmare Chica, Bonnet, the Mini Arenas, Lolbit, and Dreadbear actually have mugshots on their teasers, just like the 50 other animatronics. It is unknown if these were created specifically for the teasers, or if they were planned to be included in the game. The latter seems unlikely though, since these mugshots are not present in the files. The first unused feature that I missed for Help Wanted is a Bonnie mannequin. This model merely features Bonnie's mask on a blank mannequin, with a light placed inside the right eye hole. This was likely planned to appear in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 mode, since there are mannequins of the original 4 animatronics littered all throughout Fazbear's Fright. A similar unused model is a broken version of Chica. Evidently, this model was scrapped fairly early, since it lacks textures. This version of Chica is missing its right hand, its left arm, its left leg, and its eyes. This model was likely planned to appear in the blacklight version of Unused Dreadbear, since the stage is littered with broken and dismantled versions of various animatronics. Despite this model being scrapped, Chica still makes an appearance within the stage, in the form of a disembodied head, lacking its eye and upper jaw. As we all know, in Help Wanted, Lolbit was finally given a body after only appearing as a head in both Sister Location and Ultimate Custom Night. However, due to his model being a recolored version of Funtime Foxy, Lolbit still had eyebrows, despite lacking them in his previous appearances. Strangely, in the files, there exists a render of Lolbit's head that does not have eyebrows. I honestly wish that this head was used, because it is more accurate to Cawthon's Lolbit design. I have actually made an edited version of VR Lolbit, that includes the eyebrowless head. Also, in an attempt to further distinguish him from Funtime Foxy, I also gave Lolbit a hook, which was present on his action figure in Adventure Lolbit, though I placed it on his left arm, to distinguish him from other versions of Foxy. I am unsure if this counts as a cut feature or not, but, in the files, there exists a model of Plush Trap's endoskeleton, possibly the main series version of Enderplush from Five Nights at Freddy's World. The reason why I am including this is because, even though the endoskeletons of all of the animatronics can be found in the files, Enderplush was discovered long before the other endoskeletons and even exists as an in-game model. Unlike the other endoskeletons, it may be possible that Enderplush was originally going to be featured in the gallery or as an Easter egg, similarly to Nightmare Endo, the endoskeleton of Nightmare Fredbear. Even though the iconic A Celebrate poster still exists in the Five Nights 1 office, an alternate version of the poster can be found in the files. This version was likely scrapped due to it resembling a fan-made version, similarly to the pre-release model of the cupcake that I previously covered. Strangely, warped and distorted versions of the Freddy, Foxy, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy plushies can be found in the files. This is rather bizarre, since the normal versions of those plushies still exist in the game. However, it is likely that these were just test models. Two even strange unused features are two different variations of an ATM machine. One is a black ATM machine, while the other is a brown change machine. The only logical explanation for these models is that they were merely placeholders, since I cannot imagine what else they would be used for. Very similarly, in the teaser for Springtrap in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 mode, a premium coffee machine can be spotted by the left side of the door frame. Once again, this was likely just a placeholder, the final piece of unused content that existed prior to my unused content video is several colored tickets with numbers ranging from 5 to 5,000. It is unknown how these prizes would have been unlocked or what they would have been used for, but their numbers suggest that they would have been linked to Faz token counts. The final piece of unused content for Help Wanted comes from the recently released mobile version of the game, that being several unused sprites and animations that were planned for the new Princess Quest mode. There are two sprites that indicate that a nice dungeon was planned for the mode, those two sprites being a sprite map for the dungeon and a sprite of a pond surrounded by large rocks and a waterfall. There are also several sprites for a planned attack animation for the princess that were cut, as well as the sprite of an unused old man NPC. The final unused Princess Quest feature is an unused glitched piece of text meant for the amalgamation, which translates to "It's me." There were quite a few pre-release screenshots that I missed for Curse of Dreadbear. Beginning with the pirate ride, Foxy originally did not have his pirate attire. Several cutouts appeared differently than they did in the finished stage. There was originally a hint for using the cannon, and the targets were originally red circles when hit. As for the corn maze, it originally had a green aesthetic, The cutouts were originally less detailed, and hints were going to be given for hiding within the cutouts. The only other pre-release screenshots reveal beta versions of the stage icons, a version of the menu environment with more trees, and one of the modes being labeled as a office placeholder name. Thankfully, there were only 2 pieces of in-game unused content that I missed for Curse of Dreadbear. In the opening sequence for Curse of Dreadbear, Withered Bonnie and Withered Chica can be seen lurking in the background. However, rather than Withered Chica, the second hidden animatronic was originally going to be Scrap Chica. For those of who do not know, the final page of the survival logbook included the reveal of an extremely damaged version of Chica, that seems to be a hybrid of several Chica designs into one. It has the overall body shape of normal Chica, has the missing arms of Withered Chica, and has the missing eyes and beak of Toy Chica. Fans commonly refer to this animatronic as Logbook Chica or Scrap Chica, with the latter being my preferred name for it. Unfortunately, there is no other information on Scrap Chica, since she has not appeared in any more books or games. Since Scrap Chica was originally going to be featured in Curse of Dreadbear, it is possible that the DLC may have originally been planned to explore her origins. The only other piece of unused content that I missed was the Bonnie and Mangle plushkins. For those of you who do not know, the plushkins are versions of the plush babies that wear the masks of the animatronics, and are the main antagonists of the plushkin patch. They wear the same masks from the Trick or Treat stage, but we never see any of them wearing the Bonnie or Mangle masks. However, renders of the Bonnie and Mangle plushkins actually exist within the files. When it comes to special delivery, most of the unused content that I missed was discovered after I had made the unused content video. However, there are a few things that existed before then that I will quickly cover now. In the files, there are several unused in-box banners, which show each of the first 7 animatronics presenting their plush suit packages in front of a wall of colored balloons. The most likely explanation is that these would have appeared after purchasing an animatronics mini-pack from the store. Another one of these unused banners displays a battery emitting several electric shocks, which would have likely appeared after purchasing batteries. An interesting detail within these banners is that the balloons actually match the eye colors of each animatronic. For example, Freddy has blue balloons, Bonnie has red balloons, Springtrap has gray balloons, etc., all matching their eye color. However, one exception to this pattern is Baby, who is surrounded by purple balloons, despite having green eyes. This really reminds me of how the CPUs were originally colored according to an animatronic's eye color, before the pattern was abandoned with Toy Chica and Freddy Fazbear. In my unused content video, I mentioned that Easter Bonnie originally had green eyes before they were finally changed to blue. However, that is actually not the only eye color change that he has undergone. If you pay attention to the Sweet Shop teaser, you may notice that Easter Bonnie actually has purple eyes, similarly to Bon Bon. In short, Easter Bonnie's eye color was changed from purple to green to, eventually, blue. In promotional material for Liberty Chica, her cupcake is set ablaze, mirroring the Statue of Liberty's torch. However, in the actual game, the torch cupcake merely has smoke effects coming from it. Certain texture files for Broiler Baby indicate that she was originally going to be named Stove Baby. Honestly, I prefer her finalized name since it is alliterative, while Stove Baby sounds more generic. The final unused feature, that existed before I made the unused content video, can be found in the teaser for Magician Mangle. This perhaps may be due to the teaser's lighting, but Magician Mangle's right eye is shown to be glowing purple, rather than blue as it does in the actual game. The rest of Special Delivery's unused features were discovered after I had made the unused content video, with the first of them being assets for a VIP subscription service. The assets imply that members of the service would receive much greater rewards than normal. However, this service has not been implemented into the game, and it is unclear if it ever will be. When Shamrock Freddy was brought back for the second half of the Blast from the Past event, all of his shop assets were actually updated. When Shamrock Freddy was originally introduced, Mini-packs for animatronics originally followed the same template of placing the animatronic Silas heads within the same red and white stripes box with the animatronics profile icons decorating the packaging. However, starting with VR Toy Freddy, this template was changed to theming the packaging around the animatronic inside, and giving the animatronic size. When Shamrock Freddy was reintroduced, his old shop assets were scrapped and updated to fit with the new template. While this does look better, I find it slightly odd that they did not also do this for Chocolate Bonnie, who was included in the first half of the Blast from the Past event. A few days before the Halloween event, there were some major changes to the game's map and progression system. Originally, animatronics were able to enter a player's home by themselves, with the player being able to enter camera mode for either an encounter or remnant collection. However, this was significantly changed. On the map, animatronics now appear as blue, diamond-shaped question marks that a player can tap on. Doing so will bring up the animatronic's perception and aggression stats, and the player can decide whether to fight or reject the animatronic. These question marks are also used to access remnant collection and gain prizes, which are also now dispensed inside of balloons. The camera tab was also replaced with a tab that brought up the teaser for the update. As of this video, it is still unclear what this tab was intended for. In the Christmas update, this was replaced with a teaser of a red curtain with Fazbear Entertainment's logo and the message "coming soon." It is currently unknown what this is teasing. Another feature that was removed with the update was the radio jammers. Originally, radio jammers could be purchased and used to block out all animatronics for 3 hours. However, these were removed, and now players can decide to reject an animatronic whenever they discover them on the map. However, doing so will cost 25 Faz coins. As I mentioned in the unused content video, Plushtrap had not been added to special delivery yet, despite his appearances in promotional materials for the game. However, at the end of the Halloween event, he was finally added to the game, with extremely different mechanics than the other characters. As I had mentioned before, several of Plushtrap's assets were discovered prior to his inclusion, including his plush suit icon. However, this icon was scrapped and replaced with one that is much more accurate to Plushtrap's finalized design. On the subject of Plushtrap's design, I should now mention the differences between his pre-release design and his in-game design. In the teasers and trailer, Plushtrap was colored a very light shade of yellowish brown, with extremely detailed stitching and light gray eyes. However, his in-game appearance was changed to be more accurate to Cawthon's original design for him, with green fur and dark gray eyes. As for the final cut features from special delivery, I am unsure if these are real or not, but I shall cover them anyway, just in case they are real. As we all know, Ballora and Plushtrap are the only two animatronics whose mechanics do not involve haywires, outside of when they are equipped with different CPUs. However, when an animatronic is equipped with a different CPU, they also use the haywire sound of the animatronic that they are mimicking, which means that Ballora and Plushtrap do not have their own unique haywire sounds in the actual game. However, a few YouTube videos have revealed that these two characters were originally going to have their own unique haywire sounds, which can still be found in the files. When I first discovered these videos, I honestly thought that they were fake. However, there is nothing in their descriptions that says that they are fake. Finally, I will now cover the pre-release content for Freddy in Space 2. In my unused content video, I mentioned that there were pre-release changes for Freddy in Space 2. However, I omitted them because the video was becoming too long and because I do not really care for Freddy in Space 2 that much. However, I will quickly go through what was changed before the game's release. The first pre-release change was the appearance of the game's first teaser in the stats menu screen. Freddy in Space 2 was first teased with an image of Freddy and a character resembling Roxanne Wolf, who will be one of the main antagonists of the upcoming security breach. This teaser initially attracted mild controversy, due to some mildly suggestive features of the characters. When the teaser was used for the background of the game's stats menu screen, some of these features were slightly toned down. Interestingly, this teaser is also the only appearance of the Roxanne wolf-like character in the game. The final 2 pre-release changes can be found in an early build of the game. First of all, Frankenfox's AI was partially unfinished and he could be defeated much easier. Secondly, there were several changes surrounding the boss S. Cotton, which was originally named Secret Boss SX. Originally, he had a scowling expression and did not have sunglasses, which was changed for his final sprite. Also, his boss music was originally Find Earham instead of passive-aggressive. The Final Cut feature for Freddy in Space 2 is an early version of the mystery item sprite, which was originally smaller and more pixelated. Thank you for watching this video. I apologize for having missed some unused content, but with the length of that video, it was practically inevitable that I was going to miss something. My next video will be a history of all of the 5 Nights at Freddy's Easter eggs, so this will be the last discussion video until it is released. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and please subscribe to my channel if you would like to be notified about my newest uploads. Thank you for watching.